Command Stahl, hailing frequencies are open.
Okay, we're on.
The opinions expressed in tonight's podcast are those of the individuals speaking. They do not necessarily reflect the views of HarrisFilm Productions or its other crew members.
This is Steve Harry Harris and the HarrisFilm crew. Matt Arnold, Roy Ivey, and our VFX artist, Ken Mays. HarrisFilm has entered the 2024 Showrunner Awards and were 2 of 27 entries. I'm not sure exactly what specific awards that they put themselves in for.
Tonight, the Showrunner Award entry is
the Equinox Effect. This is a very special video, okay, in a lot of different respects. Enjoy.
Good morning, Lieutenant.
Good morning, everyone. I have a present for all of you.
Thank you. But what is the occasion?
Well, I guess it's not really a gift as much as it is an upgrade. The specs for the new comm badges have finally arrived.
These have already been distributed among the Starship crews, as well as the new uniform designs.
I know, but remote bases such as ours can be as much as a year behind in receiving and implementing the newest styles.
It is not just a style change, Lieutenant. The larger base on the communicator encompasses a larger antenna, which allows for less distortion and greater range.
That may be true, but I like change, so I like getting the new uniforms and accessories.
I was just about to access the portal. Would you like to accompany me?
Of course!
Lieutenant, today I will access Earth's past, circa 2099.
Oh, come on now.
Guardian, show me Earth's past, 21st century to present.
Behold.
That was the 20th.
Halt! Lieutenant, there are several insect life forms on this planet whose venom is toxic to humans. I would advise against touching one.
Data. Look.
Curious. Guardian, are you operating correctly?
I am functioning within my capacity.
Guardian, why has the time flow stopped?
It was requested.
Yes, Data. By you.
I did not request a playback stoppage.
Yes, you did. You told me to freeze, and the Guardian froze.
Guardian, continue playback. Guardian, start playback.
Guardian, resume playback. Halt.
Lieutenant, I believe you have just made a major discovery.
Why is it not listening to data?
Man has kept records diligently since the advent of the written word. His accumulation of knowledge has grown exponentially with each passing decade. As he moved out into space, this knowledge was combined with that of many other races to create the single largest repository of information in the known universe. The repository is known as Memory Alpha. This is where you can access the Federation files.
Get me Lieutenant Carson.
That guy look familiar?
I have Lieutenant Carson on Channel D.
Lieutenant Carson, we have not given up hope. But Voyager has been missing now for 2 months. We have no indication that she has been destroyed. So your sister, as well as the rest of the crew, could certainly still be alive.
Thank you for the update, sir. Carson out. Guardian, show me the history of the USS Voyager.
Behold.
How do you know which one?
Halt!
Captain Picard, I'm sorry to pull you from your mapping mission, but it appears that I have a saboteur on board, and Starfleet badly wants to apprehend Commander Chakotay.
I have received your intel on his whereabouts. We are only a couple hours from the Badlands. Frankly, I am more concerned about a saboteur on a starship than I am a renegade Starfleet officer.
I am as well. We haven't confirmed that it was sabotage just yet, but an impulse engine spontaneously overloading less than an hour before departing on a mission to capture some Maquis distance does not seem to be a coincidence.
It does suggest that you have a Maquis sympathizer on board your ship.
It could be Karma.
How do you mean?
We are on a secure channel, right?
Of course.
My chief of security is undercover aboard that Maquis ship.
Understood. We will bring them home, Captain.
Thank you, Captain. Janeway out.
Captain, I'm detecting a temporal wave which will impact the ship in 2.1 seconds.
Miss me, you bastards!
You missed me again.
Transporter, lock onto the Ponce pilot and prepare to beam him over.
I am extending shields to encapsulate the pod. Beam the pilot on board.
There's Glenn.
And one of the best transporter in Phantom. A lot of experience.
You're a Vulcan.
Obviously.
Those uniforms. This is a Federation ship. What class?
This is a Constitution-class starship, the USS Enterprise. Please identify yourself, sir.
I'm Captain Rudy Ransom, Starfleet officer.
Lieutenant Commander Telexa, security officer. I've never heard of a Captain Ransom. What ship are you assigned to?
What ship was my last ship? The Equinox. What are you doing?
Quantum dating scan. Please, hold still.
Transporter room. Do you have our guest aboard yet?
Yes, Captain.
Captain, are we still engaged?
Half of the Klingon ships have turned to fight a massive ship that just came through the wormhole.
Uh-oh.
What's going on?
We're in the middle of a Klingon dispute.
Klingons.
Fascinating. Your quantum data signature reads minus 120.
That's impossible.
Not impossible. Just unexpected. The logical conclusion is that somehow you have traveled back through time.
Commander, the alien vessel has locked a tractor beam onto us, and the Korath as well.
Have they targeted the Enterprise?
No, Commander.
Can we break free?
I do not believe so.
Signal the Korath. Tell them to target the Enterprise. We shall all die with honor. Kapla!
Yeah, I'm a little confused about the foreheads.
Well, there was a tricky time.
It was a wormhole. It was that.
Possibly. If these readings are correct, you are from the year 2391.
Yes, that's right. I can't believe I'm walking the decks of a Federation starship. It's been 15 years.
I recommend you keep your knowledge of the future to yourself, sir. Starfleet Temporal Policy Directive 101, also known as the Temporal Prime Directive.
Of course.
Sick bay.
McCoy here.
Doctor, I have a patient for you. Full medical exam.
Send him down.
Interesting. That did not feel like a Klingon disruptor blast.
Bridge to Telexa?
This is Telexa.
Bless you.
An alien ship has come through the wormhole. The Klingons are engaged. The captain needs you up here now.
Can you identify it?
Negative.
On my way.
Oh my God.
You know who's attacking us?
Unfortunately, yes, I do. Now come on. Let's get to the bridge. If we don't stop them here now, the Federation disputed Klingons will be nothing more than just memories.
No, Captain. You must remain in sickbay.
Listen. If you want any chance in hell of the Enterprise surviving this conflict, I've got to be on the bridge. Now. Now.
Follow me.
So much for the...
Sir, shields are down. We're being boarded. Security to the bridge.
Oops.
Uh-oh. They're dead.
Then you shouldn't have fired them.
There's been an incursion. The gateway is protected, but we have identified Borg activity everywhere, and no Starfleet signatures at all.
We must identify the incursion point. Has the surveillance system recorded anything?
No, it was disabled.
Where is Lieutenant Carson?
I don't know.
Computer, locate Lieutenant Carson.
Lieutenant Carson is not within the compound.
Data to Lieutenant Carson. Lieutenant Carson, please respond.
Borg vessels are firing on us from orbit.
The shielding is not in immediate danger. However, my experience with the Borg leads me to believe they will ultimately penetrate the barrier.
How long?
I am unable to give an accurate estimate.
We have to fix the time stream and fast. The Borg has beamed down several drones outside the shield.
That is fortunate.
What? Why is that fortunate?
If we can capture a Borg drone and access the hive mind, we can gain their knowledge of this timeline's history.
Good plan. We walk up and ask for a history lesson.
Not exactly, but if we could extract its transceiver and route it through the main computer, we could compare histories and locate the divergent point. Energize. Now we just need to run a comparison.
What are we going to compare it against? We are not Memory Alpha.
I have most of the Federation's history downloaded into my memory. As long as the incursion did not occur prior to the formation of the Federation, I should be able to locate the pinnacle event.
The shielding is showing signs of deterioration. I hope this works. We're out of time. Well?
I am running random comparisons backward through the historical record looking for the points where the Borg record and my memory match. For example, on Stardate 3897.2, the USS Valiant is conducting research on a pre-warp civilization. The monitor on the left shows my memory from the ship's logs. The monitor on the right is displaying the same events from the Borg archive. Note the additional individuals present. Computer, zoom in. Notice the implant the young lady is wearing. She is undoubtedly a Borg. Computer, resume search.
That's a lot of data.
Yeah.
She caused the destruction of the Enterprise? Why?
Look closer. There is a Borg cube with a tractor beam.
The Borg in Federation space 100 years ago?
Apparently, whatever Lieutenant Carson did, her actions caused the Borg to arrive in the Alpha Quadrant prematurely.
Sir, I checked on Lieutenant Carson's latest communique. Nothing seemed odd. However, she did hear word from Starfleet that her sister is missing and considered lost with the rest of the crew of Voyager.
Since the time stream deviates on Stardate 2987.3, I will attempt to correlate her family history to that Enterprise. No corresponding data is indicated. I do have an idea, however. I could have the Guardian send me back to the Enterprise. Presumably, I could locate Lieutenant Carson via her comm badge and a tricorder. The instant she arrives, I could apprehend her. The Guardian would then return us to the present, and the timeline would be restored.
That sounds like a solid plan, but I doubt you will go unnoticed.
True. But you would blend in.
Me?
Yes. Have the replicators produce a corresponding uniform for you. I will program a tricorder to alert you the moment Lieutenant Carson arrives.
Yes, sir.
Make it look like it's 100 years old, right?
Yeah.
You understand. Locate and apprehend Lieutenant Carson. The Guardian will do the rest.
I will do my best.
Minutes here is short enough.
How much training do you have on this 100-year-old
How do we
thing?
know it'll get to the right time?
I have the entire record of the Enterprise in my memory. As the Guardian displays the timeline, I will stop it a day or two in the past before the divergence. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. That is... yes, sir.
Guardian, show me the history of the starship USS Enterprise 1701.
Behold.
Halt! Step through now.
It has been a full day. Why has Kelsey not returned?
She has obviously not corrected the time stream.
We should not even be aware of any time passing. If and when the time stream is repaired, she should have been retrieved momentarily after she left. Something is not right.
There is the possibility that my calculations did not result in identifying the correct point in time.
How could that happen?
While I was able to determine when the point of time stream divergence began, Lieutenant Carson may have arrived earlier without damaging the time stream. Some earlier action may have triggered a later event.
So what do we do?
Someone has breached the planetside shield.
Undoubtedly, Borg ground troops. They will reach this facility in 3 minutes.
Well, can we stop them?
I do not believe so. We should evacuate.
Evacuate? To where? We have no ship.
Follow me.
Where are we going?
To yesterday.
Why?
To escape the Borg and assist ourselves in solving this riddle. Guardian, show me the history of Gateway Station.
Behold.
What happened?
I played a hunch.
A hunch?
Yes. I figured if you could take us back to the past a day ago, why don't I come back early and prevent the lieutenant here from making the incursion in the first place?
Very sound reasoning. I do have to place you under house arrest.
For what, sir? I don't understand.
I will explain in your quarters.
Now there's two of her in that timeline.
Uh-oh. Butterfly. Butterfly effect.
Why we could never do Guardian forever without turning it off.
Okay, if I remember correctly, this was the first film that Kelly Reynolds directed. I watched an interview that they did a couple of years ago, and they mentioned that images on the screen when they were comparing what was going on with what's happening before were from projects that were not completed up to that point, and this was their way of showing the love to the people who participated in filmmaking, fan films, and their way to at least get them on the screen in a fan film. The problem is, anytime you decide to try to recast a character that everybody's familiar with, you're going to get a lot of criticism. Okay? And in this particular case, people recast as Data and so on and so forth. So, but on the good side of things, this was made before the CBS Paramount guidelines. So there's actually a Star Trek actor in this film. Right. So I noticed the butterfly was a reference to the butterfly effect, and that's the whole thing was confused because the lady went through the portal to the Voyager, changed things, and it was a butterfly effect all the way backwards in time. So that's really what happened, guys. Okay, she went to Voyager, but when she blew up something, we don't even know if she died. We don't know. Maybe she died in that timeline. I don't know. But
create a chain reaction is what happened. And
backwards in time. Yes.
This entire thing happened because of that butterfly.
Yeah, well,
this entire episode was caused by the butterfly.
It could be.
Create a paradox.
What do you think, Ken?
Like I said, I just saw a paradox. She went back in time to prevent that girl from jumping through the time portal in the first place.
Yeah.
But now there's two of her in that same timeline. And they didn't even address that.
Right. Yeah, you can't prevent somebody from doing something.
If I go 2 days back in time to prevent Kim from doing something, well, there's already a me back there. So now there's two of me back there.
Yes.
Did I kill my other self and just leave my body buried under the house, or what?
Right. It's kind of like that show Millennium, right? Isn't that the name of it? So what do you say, Roy? Any constructive criticism?
I think it was a grand experiment. I liked it. I think it's a unique way of doing an episode and doing other uncompleted fan film. I understood a little bit better now why he got the beginning point wrong in the TOS area, so that was really off. I guess we don't also have to worry about the girl being off in another timeline because she never wins.
Right.
Except the blonde. Yes, I liked it. I liked their use of dual characters in different times. I noticed Wolf and Reynolds as Klingons, and and then appearing in other places in the show. As you said, they made a lot of choices. But you have to do what you can on a fan film budget.
Right.
Also, even attempting Data is a difficult makeup to do. Yeah. But it's interesting. I don't know if they've dealt with the Guardian Forever as having a facility there before in an actual CBS production. But it's logical that we would set up a base there once we knew about it. Just to protect it.
I think that was only in the novels. Yeah.
On the bridge, I forget her. She was from the animated series.
Yes, Maress.
Yes. So I think I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and it was a good it was a good attempt, you know. And,
there was one other minor mistake that I noted.
Okay.
In that era, Vulcans were not integrated into all of Starfleet. The Vulcans that were in Starfleet were segregated into their own ships because they didn't like interacting with humans in particular. They saw them as emotional.
But did you notice exactly
inferior.
what time they're at? They're after TOS. They're after the animated series.
Yeah.
Yes, you're correct. In TOS, they wouldn't have done that. But what about Phase 2? Or what about, you know, if Phase 2 had become another series after that? You know, and I don't know exactly what year we're dealing with because I don't remember hearing a star date in particular, but for the TOS section of the film. But in my mind, canonically, they're right after the animated series, probably in the 6th year of Enterprise exploring with Captain Kirk. You know what I mean? So, and I'm assuming that was Captain Kirk in the chair. I don't remember anybody saying it was Kirk, but
he's just the captain.
I don't know if it was supposed to be Kirk or not, but that was supposed to be Spock. In fact, that was Spock Vegas. He goes around to conventions as Spock. What'd you think, Matt?
It was a little confusing, but you know, the thing what gets me is I think when she went to Voyager. Okay, she sabotaged Voyager.
Okay,
that means the Enterprise went to
completely wrong Enterprise. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, the Enterprise went instead Voyager, so they never met the Equinox. So something happened, caused him to come back through time to where the
TOS error or whatever
TOS error is, and then from that point, then hell breaks loose.
Right.
And
that's a little confusing.
Yeah, and from that point, I think from that right there is what the destruction of the Enterprise, and there's two things that should have happened was the Equinox, the captain of the Equinox. We know what happened to him originally.
Right, in Voyager.
Yeah, the aliens got him.
Because he was using them as fuel.
Exactly. But when Voyager was sabotaged and the Enterprise went, I don't know if they went to the Gamma Quadrant or whatever you call it. I don't know if they went there or I think instead they took Voyager's place. The Picard's Enterprise ended up in the Delta Quadrant.
Okay.
So that changed history too there with the Borg.
Okay.
So somehow something happened. They didn't give them no information about that.
How it tied back to TOS is.
I don't know how.
That was confusing.
That was. It just, that part was really confusing there, and how with the Borg chasing him through that portal.
Yeah. If we start out transporting to the Voyager in the past, why do we end up on
Why didn't they go
Enterprise?
find her at Voyager? And what sabotaging Voyager changed them going through to keep her daughter, keep her sister or somebody disappearing with Voyager. That's what the intention was.
They didn't have all the data. And part of the problem was that Data made several errors in this.
Right.
In this film. I've never seen Data make so many errors or jump to the wrong conclusion. Usually he's much more on top of those things.
Right.
And then you have to consider that nobody knew what the other one was doing. Obviously, we went to Voyager because that's where she was going to save her sister. Okay, but he never was aware of the Voyager one. He was only aware that a change had occurred in the Enterprise time of I know the Valiant.
Right.
They were on the Valiant, and there was a mistake that there was, and they had a corresponding mistake, but it wasn't from Voyager. So something else happened, you know. But nobody knew what it was. They did. He was trying to solve a problem with the wrong information.
There's too many conflicts in it.
I thought it was a interesting attempt at merging TOS, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager all into one film.
Yes.
And didn't quite work. I mean, they like I said, like Matt said, it was confusing in some parts, and it needed another script workover before they started filming, in my opinion, to clear up some things. And
sometimes you're
a little bit better
time clock.
Better editing as well.
Remember, what we say is constructive criticism. We don't mean to come down on anybody.
Right.
All it is just suggestions. You know, the next film be a lot better.
Well, I don't know all of the reasons for everything.
If you would have went back to the Enterprise instead of the Voyager, then that would explain things a little. But still, the Equinox, that's during the Voyager timeline.
Right.
It's still conflict. It just be honest, the story was confusing. It was. I give them credit for the CGI. I give them credit for all of the people that were in it.
Yeah.
But it was confusing.
I find it hard to believe that one in the original series, the Guardian stated, "I was made to present the past in this manner. I cannot change." And yet suddenly they discover, oh, there's a pause button we didn't know about.
I like that, actually. I like that they discovered something new about the Guardian that wasn't ever discovered before. To me, that's what the fan films and fan fiction should be. You should base everything on what you know as canon within the Star Trek universe.
We got to find out where the remote is. That way we can get picture-in-picture, slow-mo, fast-forward.
Yeah, change channels. But yeah, I mean, you got your TOS era all the way through Voyager, and that gives you your basis for where there are gaps in our knowledge, and that's what they were doing, is trying to give you some information about things that happened that you don't know about.
The key factor in it is the Equinox.
Right.
The project with the Equinox was going to bring back Ramsey. So he was coming back one way or the other if they would have got that series off. He was returning back to in time. I don't know what time justification they would have used, whatever else, but somehow his ship blew up, or their ship blew up, and then he was sent into a time thing and went back to the repair. And he was going to be the captain of the Equinox back in this time period. And that was just part of the vehicle of getting him back. And there was a whole episode almost of what they would have done if they had finished the fan film, but then it came out with problems. Gary Lockwood,
yes,
who was also going to be in it, temporarily, for a while. I guess he was an admiral by then or something, but he was going to also be on the Equinox and be a recurring character for a while, but it didn't work out because of the CBS mandate or whatever. So he's not out of place in time. They would have answered those questions in the series. So
okay. See, that makes more sense. I was confused, but I still enjoyed the film. I know that it's very challenging to make any fan film. You've got kudos from us for producing something that's actually watchable and on YouTube where it belongs. And you know, it's obvious that this was a labor of love. You salvaged a lot of things to create this film, and you know, you deserve credit for that. The makeup was good, costumes were fantastic. You made good pains to make sure that the correct equipment went with the messenger back to the TOS era or TAS era, and I applaud all of that. Now, it's always challenging, and I'll say this over and over again, but it's always challenging, more challenging, to try to recreate an established character by casting your own actors to fill those roles, like Picard, who, apologies to the actor or the voice actor, the actor looked like Picard from behind, and I suspect he's the same guy that was at the console in the facility. The voice, though, sounded like Sean Connery. Okay, didn't sound like Picard. He sounded like Sean Connery, and that's fine. It just took me out of the moment, and then I got back in, and everything's fine. Same with Janeway. Janeway from a distance on the monitor was great, but when you showed a close up, it took me out of the element for a while. Yeah. And it's no reflection on the actress. It's no reflection on the actor.
When I first heard the voice, and her image was so tiny on the screen, that I heard the voice, I was thinking they had used AI to generate Janeway's voice.
See? And another thing, it's like the background.
I know a site that can do that.
Yeah.
But
this
then
was
when they showed the close-up, I realized, oh, it's not AI. This is the actual actress doing this voice.
So you know, compliments right there.
She's doing a dead-on impersonation.
Yes.
She just doesn't look much like Janeway.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And Spock Vegas is the exception to the rule. Okay? He looks like Spock. And your Asian actor looked close enough to Sulu that I didn't have a problem. Everything's fine. Now, Maress was cute, but it wasn't quite up to standards. You know, it was cute and fuzzy, and and I liked her. Okay. But she wasn't quite up to standards, and that's fine too, because hey, it's all volunteer, and everybody looks like they had fun.
I give them credit for creativity. I give them credit for that.
Right.
I give them credit for creativity.
Yeah.
And you know the CGI was good.
Yep.
And, you know they always try to do the best with their CGI stuff, and you give them credit for that. And even the console in there in that center.
Yeah, the graphics were fantastic.
It was perfect. That they did a good job on that now. Yeah. I give them credit for that.
So, if we were helping to rewrite this film, any suggestions to the crew of how you would have improved it, other than what we've already mentioned?
I think if you're going to do a program where you have linked all the various iterations of Star Trek the way they were trying to do, then you should have had characters from each one. They did not have any characters from Deep Space Nine, even though they had a scene at Deep Space Nine. That was a stark omission.
It may have been planned, though, and this is just what they were able to save. That's what I was saying before, is the whole film was a big grand scheme for a series that they didn't get to do. So it was the beginning of a series. That's probably what happened right there.
And I'll tell you what, I will give them 2 thumbs up, but it's still confusing to me, but it still was interesting.
But you say, Roy, is it 2 thumbs up?
I'm going to say 2 thumbs up, and I'm just going to mention that those councils they were at the Guardian Forever at their base, that is another Wolf and Reynolds retrieval. You know, they saved some set pieces. I forget exactly where they were from, but they were Stargate. You know, I don't know if they were from the actual show or if they were used from some other project where they made a Stargate movie. But those consoles they repurposed them from a Stargate project.
That's perfect. It worked out really well. And I enjoyed the flashbacks that they used from other fan films. In fact, I noticed a couple of clips from what looked like a fan film that I've seen recently. And this film was made 2 or 3 years ago. But I noticed a Vulcan officer talking to somebody on the screen. And I swear to you, that film was in the Showrunner Awards this year. What do you say, Ken? Is it a 2 thumb up, 1.5?
7 stars out of 10.
Okay, so that's, you know, better than 1.5 thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right.
Above average.
And
8 out of 10 here.
And I agree with Ken. Yeah, 7 out of 10. You know, it's close enough to 2 thumbs up. You've got a HarrisFilm review average of 2 thumbs up for this film. So in closing, congratulations. And we are looking forward to your next film. What'd you think? Like, comment, subscribe, and share. This is Steve Harry Harris and the HarrisFilm crew. Good night from Ken Mays, Roy Ivey, and Matt Arnold. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our show. We try to do something to make your day better every time we show up. Have a good night. Good night, everybody. See you next time.
Hailing frequencies are closed. Transmission complete.